Hi, welcome to Culture Shock. This week I want to talk about philosophy, not in a deep sort of academic sense. We're not going to talk about the critique of pure reason here. We're going to talk about an even more complex book though, and one that's even more scary perhaps. Your policy book, your rules and regulations, the document that dictates what people can and cannot do around here. You almost certainly got one. I know some companies have them in the hundreds of pages. Hopefully yours is a lot shorter than that. But here's the thing, investigate that book. I did. Take it out and read through it. And it will reveal itself to you. It will reveal the philosophy of the organization to you, the philosophical intent of the leaders, or the people at least who wrote those rules. That book is either written to enable things to happen, or it's written to prevent things from happening. Now, it's a fair guess that you'll probably have a little bit of a mix of each, but there's going to be a distinct leaning from one to the other. Either you're an organization that enables, that finds ways to get stuff done, or you're an organization that is just trying to protect itself against people who might rip it off or do the wrong thing or cause some sort of a problem here, there, and everywhere. And that philosophical intent will entirely dictate how the culture of the organization feels, how the culture of the organization exists in the minds of employees. When you're looking at an organization, at your organization, you're kind of going, I want it to be more innovative. I want people to be more entrepreneurial, to be more self-starting, to get on with stuff and bring their good ideas. And they're not doing that. The secret to why they aren't almost certainly exists within the rules that you've put in place. And those rules are almost certainly somewhere, they're documented inside the policy book of some sort, in some way. So here's the challenge. You may well want to have a really open, constructive, progressive, amazing culture that enables great things to happen, but you may well be your own worst enemy because philosophically you are not set up to do that. You can't just put wallpaper on this, unfortunately. You can't just decide, well, you know what, we're actually, for department by department, we're actually going to loosen things up a little bit around here, because that's not the way things work. And the moment you start doing that, you've got different sets of rules over here, different sets of rules over there. It's anarchy. I'm a big believer in rules. I have 3 small children, right? To me, rules are made to be followed. I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't have rules. I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't have a rule book. I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't document these things in some way. But if you find that your organization is not acting culturally the way you want it to, and that no matter what happens, with no matter interventions you put in place, it just doesn't seem to work out that way, odds are, philosophically, the way the organization actually is under the skin is telling people not to. You're going to have to loosen some of the rules, change some of the regulations, change some of the way things are done around there at a structural level. At a structural level, I beg your pardon. You're going to have to start doing that if you want people to start doing things at a sort of a more entrepreneurial, innovative type level. The good news is it's in your hands because it's your document. You get to change it all you want. You get to look at it, you get to reread it, you get to rewrite it. That's the cool thing about it. But if you do that, and if you take your current, perhaps, preventative policy document and turn it into one that is much more enabling, by assuming, for example, that your people don't need to be sort of guided and controlled in so many ways, and that actually they can be enabled in a bunch of other ways, by assuming that, you have a real chance at changing the philosophical stance of your organization. And when you do that, it's a breath of fresh air. It's complex, but it's also really easy. At least you know where to start. If you're interrogating your policy book and you're seeing a hell of a mess, it's there. Anyway, that's food for thought for me. I hope it's food for thought for you, and I wish you a very good week.